April 2011 was the most active month for tornadoes that has ever been recorded, producing over 750 tornadoes within a month's time frame, killing over 500 people, causing billions of dollars worth of damage, and changing people's lives forever. For weeks, the National Weather Service has been warning people in the Deep South what was going to happen. They put a day 2 moderate outlook, which is very rare, but no one knew it was going to be worse than what even the National Weather Service expected. Welcome to 24 Hours of Hell. As the majority of people in Mississippi prepared for bed on the evening of the 26th, they did not realize the nightmare they would have that night. Nor did they know that the dream would not end until the next evening. These tornadoes killed over 60 people, injuring over 1,000. A supercell in Louisiana is strengthening and starting to drop tornadoes and is barreling towards the state of Mississippi, and it's not letting up. After 2 long hours, it enters Mississippi and gets a tornado warning at 12:35 a.m. This starts a nightmare that many people remember so well and will forever be stitched in U.S. and Mississippi history. This storm puts down the very first tornado at 12:45 a.m. This tornado was rated only an EF0, doing damage to trees, and no person was harmed. Shortly after, in Sunflower County, the injuries started coming in. An EF2 touchdown and injured 3 people who did not have a clue what was coming their way. This tornado tracked 11 miles and then lifted. An EF3 tornado touches down to track 60 miles and injure 25 people. This tornado did damage to mobile homes and houses. It finally lifts at 3:49 a.m. after being on the ground for 1 hour and 20 minutes. An EF2 killed 1 person in a mobile home. This is the first fatality of this event. This poor person had no idea what was coming their way. The last tornado of the morning crosses into Alabama, freeing Mississippi for the time being at 4:35 a.m. This storm tracked into Pickens County, Alabama as an EF2. Luckily, no one was harmed. For now, the anger of Mother Nature has subsided, but what was to come would be the absolute worst thing that many people have experienced this day. Something that will change lives forever.
And tracking toward Big B is a tornado on the ground. There's no more simple, no more direct way I can say it. Line of thunderstorms, we do continue to have tornado warnings in effect. This is a tornado on the ground.
Dealing with a tornado continuing to be on the ground, and again, this is exactly what we're seeing with all these storms in Mississippi.
A sunny morning and early afternoon made many people believe that the weather was over for the day, and they wanted to go about their daily lives. But what they did not know is setting the stage for the worst day in weather history in over 50 years. This system was about to form would be relentless, rivaling only that of the 1974 outbreak, and was about to exceed every expectation imaginable. This cell has been heavily monitored by the National Weather Service in Jackson, Mississippi, and by renowned storm chaser Reed Timmer and his crew. At 2:30 p.m., it got tornado warned. Shortly after, one of the strongest tornadoes of the day made its way to the ground, and very quickly made it to the highest rating a tornado can receive, an EF5. This fast-moving tornado is remembered by its damage and its appearance on the TV show Storm Chasers. This tornado was moving 55 miles per hour and only growing stronger. As the storm neared the edge of Neshoba County, a tornado emergency was issued for northern Kemper County, southeastern Winston County, and all of Noxubee County. Along the Kemper and Winston County line, EF5 damage occurred as extremely deep ground scoring took place and asphalt was ripped from the roads. Sadly, in northwestern Kemper County along Green Road, 3 people lost their lives. They took shelter in their mobile home where they were thrown 300 yards into a tree line. These people were later found in the tree line and later were put in their final resting places. Luckily, only 8 people were injured. While digging a 2-foot trench in the ground, it leveled brick homes, debarked trees, ripped trees out of the ground, wrapped cars around trees, threw farm equipment, tore asphalt up from roadbeds, and made a memory that would never be forgotten. Throughout its 30-minute lifespan, the tornado traveled 28 miles. This tornado racked up a total damage of $10.2 million. This was the first EF5 recorded in Mississippi since the Candlestick EF5 on May 3, 1966. It was the sole EF5 in the state for 45 years. This twister was rated an EF3. It touched down very shortly after the Philadelphia EF5 It touched down on Highway 9, just 3 miles south-southeast of Slate Springs. It started ripping up trees in a 460-yard path. After tracking 3.5 miles into Webster County, it crossed into extreme southeast Calhoun County before very quickly crossing into Chickasaw County. It slowly grew but damaged a home, destroyed a barn, and destroyed a house that was in the progress of being built. In the small community of Anchor, 2 mobile homes were destroyed and roofs were damaged shortly after it grew just shy of 1 mile wide. It hit the home of Susan and Grady Barnett. Their home was on the corner of Highway 15 South and County Road 416. Their home was demolished and their horse trailer was thrown into a nearby pond. The Barnett said, "We rode out Katrina in this house, but this storm destroyed our house in about 5 minutes." Luckily, the Barnett family was not home when the storm hit, so they were not injured. The members of the small neighborhood said, "We are grateful for our cuts and bruises because we are alive." The Chapel Grove community took the brunt of this tornado. The members believed that this tornado was an EF5 because several well-built and properly anchored brick homes were taken down to the slab, and a truck was thrown 3,000 yards from the driveway from which it was parked. In all, 4 people died, 25 were injured, 110 homes were destroyed, 115 were damaged, 41 mobile homes were destroyed, and 22 were damaged. It took over $530,000 to clean up the mess from this twister, but what this storm had up its sleeve was something that would make this tornado fade into the shadow of a monster.
Chickasaw and Monroe counties. We're on the phone right now with our main anchor, Mr. Craig Ford. Craig, how are you doing?
I got to tell you, it's a very interesting day. Let me give you an idea of where I'm at right now. I'm actually in the Glendale Shopping Center in the parking lot in Amory. I was actually heading into work, and I was between Amory and Nettleton on Highway 6. When I started, my vehicle just got pounded by some very intense hail. I literally thought the windshield was going to break on the vehicle. So I turned around, came back here, and I'm looking right now toward the north, and it would not surprise me at all if there's a tornado on the ground. There's just a low wall cloud. Looks like it is moving toward the east or the northeast. Looks like it's clearing back toward the west, but if you're like looking toward Smithville right now, or I know the tornado warning was issued for northern Monroe County and southern Itawamba County. Well, right now, you definitely need to be taking shelter because this looks like a very, very nasty storm right now.
After producing a long-tracked EF3 tornado that passed near New Wren, the same supercell produced this tornado that began 3 miles west-southwest of Smithville. It was very quickly growing and racing towards the town of Smithville. On its way, it was ripping up trees and leaving nothing but destruction in its wake. As the tornado crossed over Davis Road South, it reached EF5 intensity and claimed the first life in a bed and breakfast along Mississippi State Highway 25. The tornado swept the building from its foundation, leaving nothing but broken walls and an empty slab. A semi-truck was thrown 300 yards and was destroyed. An RV was thrown 250 yards and was partially embedded in the ground. A Ford Explorer was thrown into the Smithville water tower, leaving a dent that could still be seen from this day. A well-built and properly anchored home was taken off its foundation, and part of the foundation was dislodged and thrown. It moved through residential and commercial areas, shredding the furniture and the appliances inside. A 1965 Chevrolet pickup truck was thrown to never be found, and metal sewage pipes were pulled up out of the ground. This beast killed 23 people. And injured 137 others. After an agonizing 43 minutes on the ground and 37 miles of destruction and loss of life, it lifted just outside the town of Hodges, Alabama at 4:23 p.m., causing $14.4 million worth of damage. Just southeast of Raleigh, a weak tornado touched down, damaging trees and roofs, but this is only the infancy of an EF4 that will track over 100 miles and will track into Alabama after tracking through 3 counties. The tornado reached peak intensity along County Road 103. It mowed a path just over a half-mile wide at EF4 intensity. It snapped pine trees, damaged roofs, damaged exterior walls, destroyed mobile homes, and a large shop. As it entered Jasper County, the tornado crossed County Road 13, causing, quote, impressive tree damage, snapped power poles, and stripped trees of their bark. Just northwest of Lewin County Road 164, the tornado hit a well-built home, leaving nothing but a slab. It came into an area with mobile homes, and almost everyone heard the warning and went to shelter in a brick home, which more than likely saved their lives. Sadly, 2 people lost their lives in their mobile home after a while it crossed Highway 15, leaving a poultry farm barely standing. For a short time, it weakened to an EF1 for several miles, and it damaged mobile homes and roofs. It rapidly got back up to EF3 intensity, southeast of Rose Hill, leaving damage. Luckily, no one was injured or killed in this area. Once again, this monster weakened to an EF1, and then shortly after an EF0, doing minimal damage. It continued to stay a weaker tornado until it got east of the town of Enterprise. Now it was back to EF4 strength, and it was doing severe damage to homes and sweeping them off of their foundations. After a while, it continued to fluctuate between EF3 and EF2 strength. It continued to cause severe tree damage and roof damage along the towns of Energy and Snell along Highway 514 as it tracked into Alabama. This long track tornado tracked 122 miles, and it was rated an EF4. The maximum width was 0.6 of a mile, and it killed 7 people and injured 17, in Mississippi at least. After everything that happened on this awful day, Mississippi is very fortunate to only lose 60 people. Now, 11 years later, we can look back on this day in Mississippi state history and learn from it. We can look back and appreciate life a little bit more and listen to more about what's going on in the world around us, and not focus on only what we have going on that day. May we all remember those who lost their lives on this tragic day. Sadly, part 2 will not be so kind talking about fatalities. Next, we discuss the state of Alabama. My plan with this series is to cover major outbreaks in the state of Mississippi and Alabama, giving each state their own video so we can focus on each situation and truly understand what happens and how people are affected. I do not own rights to any of this footage or photograph used in this video. Please be patient with me. These take a while to make. Until next time, stay weather aware. Hold on 1 second. Don't go yet. I'd like to thank everybody who helped me make this video and help work out the script. It really means a lot to me, you guys. Their links will be down in the description below. And remember, stay weather aware, my friends.